Hello everyone, and welcome to the live session of this course, Expansive Soil. In today's session, we will be dealing with some of your doubt or any questions which you have to answer all those things. So if you have any questions, please write down on the YouTube chat box. I will be answering all of your questions. So I hope it was a quite good session for you and good learning for you. From the last 8 weeks, you have been going through this, or you have been learning this course, Expansive Soil, and I hope you have learned some useful out of this course. As you know that this Expansive Soil, it gives a lot of challenges to the engineers in particular because of its behavior of the soil. And it's a huge problem, not in India, but around the world, as 17% of Indian landmass is also occupied by this expansive soil. So constructing any foundation or any structure on this expansive soil poses a big challenges to the engineers. Similarly, from the research point of view, we have to learn how to deal with this expansive soil, how to use this for different applications. So in this course, I have tried to explain a brief background on the expansive soil, why the soil expands, and what are the different factors which can control the expansive behavior of the soil. All has been dealt in this chapter, and also I explained you about the shrinkage, as swelling and shrinkage goes hand to hand. Once the soil swells, it also shrinks when it loses moisture. So in this course, I have also explained a bit about the shrinkage behavior of the soil. As you know that it's quite not that difficult to face the expansive soil or treat the expansive soil, but it's really difficult to treat and shrinkage soil or do a construct a structure on a shrinkage soil. So therefore, we need to learn about the shrinkage behavior as well. So this course was delivered in 8 weeks, and it was divided into 10 different models. And the first model was on introduction to the soil mechanics. Since many of the learners are not from the geotechnical background, so in this model, it was emphasis to give some introduction to the civil engineering, geotechnical engineering behavior of the soil, particularly the formation of the soil, how the soils are formed from the different processes, how it can be transported from one place to another place. Those things was explained in the first lecture in the term formation of the soil. In the second lecture, I explained you about the classification and index properties of the soil. It's quite essential to classify the soil because when we name a soil, it should have a universal meaning. So it's quite essential to classify a soil based on its properties. So therefore, we need to understand how to classify a soil as far as Indian standard is concerned, as well as the ASTM standard is concerned. And then I explain you about different index properties. Those properties help us to identify the soil and how these index properties such as void ratio or specific gravity, degree of saturation, water content are related. Then also I explain you about some of the Utterberg's limit, some of like liquid limit, plastic limit, shrinkage limit, how they are related with the soil behavior. And in the third lectures, I explain you about the engineering properties of the soil, such as shear strength, the compaction characteristics, or the hydraulic conductivity. So since we need to understand the engineering behavior of the soil, so it's quite essential to go through all these processes for the people who are not having a background in geotechnical engineering. Then starting with the second module, it was on the clay mineralogy. Similar to any similar to our DNA or RNS, clay mineralogy controls the behavior of a soil. So in the first class, it was explained about different types of minerals which we may encounter. Generally, I gave emphasis on three different types of mineral like montmorillonite, illite, and kaolinite, and how those are formed, what are their structures, what are their behaviors. I explained so that the learner can know about a little bit on this clay mineralogy and how those minerals control the soil. Then I explained you about the different properties of the clay particles in the lecture number 5. Then in third module, which was an introduction to expansive soil, I gave you about different definition of the expansive soil, its types, its behavior, and in the next module, that is the swelling behavior of the expansive soil, I explained you about how the soil expands, particularly the soil expands when it absorbs moisture. So how this soil water interactions takes place, or how this soil absorbs moisture and in terms it volume gets increased. I explained you about those things. And another theory I explained you about the diffuse stubble layer. So diffuse stubble layer mostly controls the swelling behavior of the soil. So any swelling mechanism can be explained in terms of a diffuse stubble layer. So uh, in that chapter, I explained you about the diffuse stubble layer, its properties, like on what factors it depends, how it controls the behavior of the soil. So those things I have explained. Then I explained you about the different forces of attraction, repulsion, and how those are responsible for the soil volume change. So this was explained in the lecture number 8. Then in lecture number 9, I explained you about the factors which controls the swelling and shrinkage behavior, particularly swelling behavior. Different factors like water content, density, suction can also changes the swelling behavior in addition to the diffuse stubble layer thickness. So in the 5th module, which was on the shrinkage behavior of the soil, I explained you about the shrinkage mechanism, then the shrinkage behavior of the soil, particularly cyclic swelling and shrinkage behavior, like how the cyclic swelling and shrinkage phenomena takes place in a soil, and how those cyclic swellings phenomena or cyclic swelling and shrinkage phenomena can controls the behavior of the soil. So basically, we can have two types of cyclic swelling and shrinkage. One is full shrinkage or partial shrinkage. Depending on the full shrinkage or partial shrinkage, the behavior of the soil can be different, or the swelling behavior of the soil can be different. Then I explained you about what are the different factors which controls the swelling and shrinkage potential of the soil. Then I explained you about the different parameters related with the swelling behavior, like swelling pressure, swelling potential, and how those are can be determined in the laboratory, and how those are related with the classification of expansive soil. Then in the uh, module 6, I explained you about the behavior of expansive soil, like the behavior in terms of the thermomechanical and hydraulic chemical behavior, how an expansive soil will be behaving in presence of temperature. So for example, when you heat a soil, expansive soil, depending on the temperature at which we are heating the soil, the behavior of the soil can be changed. Like if we are heating to a higher degree, say 1000 to 500 degrees centigrade, then the soil will behave entirely differently if we heat the soil at around say 50 degree or 60 degree temperature. So what is the basic mechanism by which the behavior of the soil gets changed? I explained on those things. Then I explained you about the thermomechanical and hydraulic properties of the soil, and also the chemical behavior of the soil, like in the presence of different salt solution, how the soil will behave, then how the swelling and shrinkage potential will get can be can get changed in the presence of these chemicals. Then the best next question is, when we encounter an expansive soil, how to treat it. So in that model, I explained you about three different or in fact four different mechanisms by which you can treat an expansive soil, like mechanical methods, chemical methods, hydraulic methods. So in those methods, I explained you about what are the different techniques which are involved in treating a soil. In chemical methods, how you can treat a soil by including lime or cement or other chemicals, so that the strength can be increased. Similarly, in hydraulic method, how can we change the water content of the soil or lower the water table by which the strength of the soil can be increased. So those things was explained in the seventh and eighth, seventh and eighth module of this course. Then in the ninth module, I explain you about how to construct foundation on expansive soil. Like for constructing a foundation on an expansive soil is quite challenging. So there are various techniques. First of all, if the soil is less expansive type, you can remove the soil and you can replace the soil with a non-expansive soil. But if we are going for a high or large construction, that cannot be done. So we have to go for other techniques, like we have to provide pile foundation, or we have to go for a CNS technology or other methods by which you can construct foundation on expansive soil. Similarly, if you are constructing a shallow foundation, so what kind of precautions you have to take, what kind of foundations you can construct. So those things I explained you on that class. In the last uh, class, I explained you about the different engineering behavior of expansive soil. So far, we have learned that expansive soil is a problematic soil, but this expansive behavior of the soil can be used for different engineering application, like a is a liner material in landfill. When we use an expansive soil, we know that soil will get expand, and because of that, it will possess very low value of hydraulic conductivity. So those low hydraulic conductivity can be used as a liner material in a low level radionuclear disposal site as well as a landfill liner site. So bentonite, which is an expansive soil, can be used as a liner material in this area, in this particularly applications. Similarly, bentonite or other expansive soil can also be used like a drilling fluid or mm, a drilling fluid or different applications. So those things I explained you in this 10th module. So I hope in you have learned some, or you might have got some idea about expansive soil, and that can help you in understanding more about the expansive soil and treat the expansive soil in the field. And also you can apply this knowledge to your research area if you are a researcher. And I hope this is quite the course quite useful to you, or has been quite useful to you. And if you have any questions, please write it down so that I can answer. Otherwise, if you are not able to log in right now, or you are not able to ask your doubt, you can also come to me, or you can drop an email to me, and I will happy to answer all of your doubts. So, but in regards to some students asked me about the mode of final exam. So mostly the final exam will be at objective types. So objective questions will be asked to you. Questions with multiple choice will be asked to you. Will be, and those questions will be containing different marks like 1, 2, 3, something like that. And you have to, you will be given 4 choices or like that in the questions. So mostly the final exam will be in multiple choice type exam. So if you have any questions, please write down on the YouTube chat box so that I can answer to you. And also you can ask me about any problem related with the assignments which I've given to you. Some has already asked and I have answered all of them. And also I have incorporated some of the suggestions which they have given. And also if you find anything, any suggestion regarding this course or the content of this course, or somewhere if I have done any error or mistake, please let me know so that I can rectify. So please post any of your doubt or any questions related to this course on the YouTube chat. And if you're not able to come online right now because of some problem, maybe you can drop an email later on. Okay, in assignment one, I'll look into that and I'll please drop me an email so that I can look into that question and I'll answer to you. But please go through this slides, whatever I have given has been given as a study material, and all the questions has been set as far as those materials. So you will find out the answer over there. I hope that will clear your doubt. So the questions which you have asked me about the metamorphic rock and marble rock. So please drop an email so that I can respond to you. I will go through that questions. I will respond to you. I'll check what were the answers, because right now I don't remember exactly what were the answers. So you drop an email and I will answer to you. If you have any question, please ask me. Okay, so I'll check that both should be correct in the answer script. I'll check and let you know. Okay, please drop me an email so that I can respond to you over the email. If you have any question, if you have any doubt on any assignments, please let me know so that I can rectify those error. And if you have any other questions, please drop. Just write down in the chat box so that I'll try to answer all of your questions. Because we have limited time, so you have to be quick. If you don't have any questions, maybe we'll stop here. In study material, viscosity increases with temperature. So could you please bit elaborate on this thing, because I'm not sure what you are talking over here. Particularly which viscosity you're talking about. Okay, permeability is inversely proportional to viscosity. Yes, when we take a highly viscous liquid and if we allow to pass it through the soil, it will pass very slowly. So that means higher is the viscosity, higher will be the higher is the viscosity, lower will be the permeability of the soil. Yes. So when we increase the temperature, so when we increase the temperature, the uh, the viscosity of the liquid will decrease and the permeability of the soil will also increase. So when we increase the temperature, the viscosity of the soil, viscosity of the liquid will decrease, and so the permeability will increase. So that in that sense, it might be written that not viscosity, the velocity should increase with the temperature, or the permeability should increase with the temperature. There may be, I'll check into those things. So, but basically, when we increase the temperature, the viscosity will decrease, and that will increase the permeability of the soil. Yes, so viscosity will decrease with increase in the temperature. With increase in the temperature, the liquid becomes less viscous. And so the permeability will increase. Okay. But better you just drop me an email so that I can rectify the questions you have asked about the assignment one. Like what is the mistake? So if there's mistake from our side, then I will let the people know that to accept both the answers. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Okay, if there is no other question, maybe we can terminate this session. Okay, thank you very much for attending this course, and please let me know if you have any question or anything. Just drop me an email. I will be I'll be happy to answer all of your questions or doubt. And all the best.